Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka Day. Today's Shloka is Shloka number 30 of chapter 9. Api chet suduracharo
Api chet suduracharo
bhajate mamananya bhak
bhajate mamananyabha
sadhureva samantavyah
sadhureva samantavyah
samyak vyavasito hi saha.
samyak vyavasito hi saha.
Word for word meaning, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Api,
Api,
even,
chet,
if,
suduracharaha,
one committing the most abominable actions,
one committing the most abominable actions,
bhajate,
bhajate,
is engaged in devotional service,
is engaged in devotional service,
mam, unto me, ananya bhak, without deviation, sadhuhu, a saint, eva, certainly, saha, he, mantavyah, is to be considered, samyak, completely, vyavasitaha, situated in determination, he, certainly, saha, he. Translation. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly, because he is properly situated in his determination. Hare Krishna. The shloka has to be understood in its proper context. The shloka is not suggesting a license to commit sinful activities. But having read the purport and then having read the explanations by different acharyas interpret this shloka in a different mood. Some of them look at it from a devotional perspective, and some of them look at this as more of a metaphor or an exaggeration. So let us look at what Prabhupada writes, and then we'll quickly look at a few other aspects of this particular shloka and how the shloka actually has to be understood. So the questions, can sinners be saints? As we often hear the saying, every sinner has had a past, and every saint has had a past, and every sinner has a future. So the word suduracharaha used in this verse is very significant, and we should understand it properly. When a living entity is conditioned, he has two kinds of activities. One is conditional, and the other is constitutional. As for protecting the body or abiding by the rules of society and state, certainly there are different activities, even for the devotees, in connection with a conditional life. And such activities are called conditional. So Prabhupada is explaining that there are two kinds of activities. One is based on the body, the other is based on the spirit soul. The one that is based on the body, even if we are a devotee, we still have to follow the rules of the state, the rules and regulations of the society that we live in. We cannot just say, I'm a devotee, I can do whatever I want. These rules don't apply to me because these rules don't exist in the Shastra. So there is your duties on the bodily platform, which also includes whatever society may impose on us, and also duties on the transcendental platform. Besides these, the living entity who is fully conscious of his spiritual nature and is engaged in Krishna consciousness or the devotional service of the Lord has activities which are called transcendental. Such activities are performed in his constitutional position, and they are technically called devotional service. Now, in the conditioned state, sometimes devotional service and the conditional service in relation to the body will parallel one another. But then again, sometimes these activities become opposed to one another. We will take an example a little later. What Prabhupada is saying is, sometimes they are on parallel tracks. You can adhere to both the societal injunctions on what is acceptable and not acceptable, and also very nicely follow what the scriptures tell you. But occasionally, these two will come in conflict with each other. As far as possible, a devotee is very cautious so that he does not do anything that could disrupt his wholesome condition. He knows that perfection in his activities depends on his progressive realization of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes, however, it may be seen that a person in Krishna consciousness commits some act which may be taken as most abominable socially or politically. But such a temporary fall down does not disqualify him. So devotees should not be derided. Essentially, that is what the Lord is stating here. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that if a person falls down, but is wholeheartedly engaged in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, the Lord, being situated within his heart, purifies him and excuses him from that abomination. The material contamination is so strong that even a yogi fully engaged in the service of the Lord sometimes becomes ensnared. But Krishna consciousness is so strong that such an occasional fall down is at once rectified. Therefore, the process of devotional service is always a success. No one should deride a devotee for some accidental fall down from the ideal path. For as explained in the next verse, such occasional fall downs will be stopped in due course as soon as a devotee is completely situated in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a person who is situated in Krishna consciousness and is engaged with determination in the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, should be considered to be in the transcendental position, even if by chance or accident he is found to have fallen. The words Sadhureva, he is saintly, are very emphatic. They are a warning to the non-devotees that because of an accidental fall down, a devotee should not be derided. He should still be considered saintly, even if he has accidentally fallen down. So devotees may not be flawless, but still they are revered for their devotion to the Lord. So even if we fall down, one must not give up devotional services. And the word mantavyaha is still more emphatic. If one does not follow this rule and derides a devotee for his accidental fall down, then one is disobeying the order of the Supreme Lord. The only qualification of a devotee is to be unflinchingly and exclusively engaged in devotional service. In the Nrsimha Purana, the following statement is given. Bhagavati sahara vananya cheta vrishamalinopi virajate manushyaha nahi shashakalusha chabihi kadachat timira parabhavatam upaiti chandraha. Bhavatam upaiti chandraha. The meaning is that even if one fully engaged in the devotional service of the Lord is sometimes found engaged in abominable activities, these activities should be considered to be like the spots that resemble the mark of a rabbit on the moon. Such spots do not become an impediment to the diffusion of moonlight. Similarly, the accidental fall down of a devotee from the path of saintly character does not make him abominable. So in this particular shloka, the moon will always be the moon. The moon will always be resplendent. Even if it has dark spots on it, it doesn't reduce the splendor of the moon. Similarly, a devotee is always a devotee. They may have some spots on them, some anarthas in them, but that doesn't make them any less exalted, especially when we're talking about pure devotees. On the other hand, one should not misunderstand that a devotee in transcendental devotional service can act in all kinds of abominable ways. This verse only refers to an accident due to the strong power of material connections. Devotional service is more or less a declaration of war against the illusory energy. As long as one is not strong enough to fight the illusory energy, there may be accidental fall downs. But when one is strong enough, he is no longer subjected to such fall downs, as previously explained. No one should take advantage of this verse and commit nonsense and think that he is still a devotee. If he does not improve in his character by devotional service, then it is to be understood that he is not a high devotee. So we'll go a little bit more detail into this shloka in combination with the next shloka to understand what is the significance of this shloka and the connection to the next shloka, which is shloka number 31. The summary for us is, we should not find faults with devotees. We should not be looking for incidents that may have happened in a pure devotee's life and consider them to be abominable. Krishna is warning us here. Sadhurevacha, sadhureva samantavyaha. So as long as the devotee is always engaged in devotional services, even though he may have fallen down, the Lord considers him saintly. Why? Because the devotee is properly determined in his devotional service. Yes, one may have fall downs, but even if that happens, one should not be dejected and give up devotional service. As long as we are continuing on the path of devotional service, the Lord is always on the lookout for you. He's always protecting you.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.